So there are a lot of languages that people take in high school and college. Three of the most common are German, French, and Spanish. And while those are the three most common, a lot of people don't think about ASL, which is American Sign Language. And it's really a very beautiful language, and the deaf culture and community are a very beautiful thing to be involved with, and that is what I'm going to be talking about. Deaf people, when talking about a deaf person or to a deaf person, deaf people don't like to think that the word deaf is a bad word. So when a hearing person is talking to or about a deaf person, you don't really want to say, oh, that person's deaf, don't talk to them, it's fine. They're deaf, and that's what makes them them. Deaf people take a lot of pride in being deaf, and they have their deaf identity, and that is who they are as a person. A lot of controversies that deaf people are a part of. Cochlear implants. Cochlear implants are something that allow a deaf person to hear, and deaf people don't necessarily like them because it takes away a person's deaf identity. So if you're giving it to a baby, that baby has no consent in what's happening. They aren't consenting to getting the implant. They can't say yes or no, and that bothers deaf people because that is taking away such a big opportunity that baby could have to be in the deaf community and learn about deaf culture and be a part of it. If an adult makes the decision to get a cochlear, that is their choice, and it is more accepted than just giving it to a baby, because hearing parents are afraid that, oh, their kid's deaf, the deaf baby needs to be fixed. Deaf babies don't need to be fixed, they just need to get the proper resources and necessities to living their life to the fullest while being deaf. Some cultural things that deaf people do or are a part of, getting attention. Deaf people get attention by waving their hand, flicking lights on and off, or banging on a table. And these are physical things that they do because you can't yell out their name because they obviously won't hear. So waving the hand so they can see, banging on a table so they can feel it, these are all things that deaf people do to get the attention of other deaf people. There are a lot of things to talk about in the deaf community, deaf culture. There are a lot of things that can be gone over. I only shared a few things, and I hope that it really helped. And I really think that hearing people should be more educated on these things, because there is a sort of ignorance that hearing people have to deaf people, and I hope that some of this information will be helpful in knowing more about deaf people and the culture and the community.